What's up, YouTube? Heretic here, and I am here with Squeaky from Team Fish Knuckles across Skype. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So Squeaky here needed a deck to play for Florida, or sorry, not Florida, Georgia regionals
Yeah.
this past weekend, and so he posted on Burbank City and was like, "I need a deck to play. What should I play?" So I said, "Message me," and I wrote your name on there, and I said, "Tag," and so I could tag you. So like, I'm gonna make sure you see this.
True.
So I was like, I got this deck, and I'm working on it, and it's kicking some butt, and so basically, I gave Squeaky this deck, and I'm gonna do a profile of it myself if it's not already uploaded. I don't know what order this is all going up in. I apologize. It's a bit of a cluster, but anyway, if you want to go ahead and take it away, I know you made a couple changes to the deck as well, which I actually ended up testing out, and I thought they worked pretty well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know in the original list you had like two Winonas in there, and
Mhm.
since I mean the deck plays like multiple Pokemon that aren't colorless, we were having problems like fishing out the Aegislash and the Keldeo, or maybe like the Gabalion, or like maybe a Bronzors. So we decided to put
Mhm.
one Call for Family in there instead. And
Oh,
so
really?
yeah,
I
not
didn't.
Call
I
for
didn't.
Family, not Call for Family. Fan Club. There we go.
Okay, okay, that's the one. That's the one I thought. I was like, no, I wasn't sure if you had swapped out both Winonas for fan clubs or
No.
what it was.
We swapped out one Winona for Fan Club, and then we swapped out the other Winona for a Lysander. And
Okay, so you put double Lysander.
yeah, it was really cool because when you prize one Lysander and you're like, oh, I really need this Lysander to win a game, and it's prized, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's why we put that in there. And we actually cut the fourth Juniper for an N, and
Huh.
that was
Interesting.
really cool because there was multiple times where you like battle compressor and you had a Verseek in your hand, but you had like maybe multiple Bronzongs or something you didn't want to discard. You can just
Mm.
Verseeker for the N and save yourself that way. And also late game, you can end your opponent down to like two cards, and hopefully you can draw into a Shaman, or you can actually
Yeah.
just double Metal Leaks to a Shaman, send it up, and put it back into your hand.
So-
And then next
Yeah.
turn you have the Shaman to actually draw your hand, while your opponent usually doesn't have anything. So
Yeah. As opposed to like, oh crap, I got to Sycamore away like two Bronzongs, and I got to wait for Trump card to come back.
yeah, true.
We'll get into Trump card more here in a little bit.
And then,
Well, I'm sorry.
and then let's see. Another change we made, which you kind of talked about, was the Aegislash to Gabalion, the 1-1 split.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
doing one apiece instead of two shields. Doing, I guess, a shield and a sword.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't really. The only time I used Gabalion was against Seismitoad. I played against two Toad decks, and they were
Mhm.
really clutch because you just like discard their DCEs. One of them played Shaman, so he can easily get it back, but he had to eventually trump card to get his DCs, which slowed him down because all of the Shaman's already
Yeah.
benched. And the other one didn't play Shaman; it was more a Garbodor
Sure.
version.
Okay, Garbo Toad.
Yeah. So once I discard his DC, it's really hard for him to fish it out because he can only Juniper and hopefully hit it off the 7. So.
Yeah.
And I think besides that, the list is the same that you sent me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an interesting idea. Like, basically, what kind of jump started that? I played against someone who was running that deck on PTCGO, and I thought it was kind of weird. And I was kind of like, why would you do that? It just seems slow. But then I was just kind of like, I was on Poke Beach checking for updates later that night, and I was like, okay, because I don't have like the paid memberships or anything for any of those sites, so I was just reading the free portion, and I came across an article that Mies had written, and I was reading that, and he's talking about like a Rayquaza build that could beat Toad, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it wasn't in the free portion of the article, but I was just thinking about it, and I was like, well, I saw that guy playing Bronzong with it, like Toad decks play a lot of hammers, and Bronzong would let you get your energy back from the discard pile if it gets hammered away, like at least your basic energy. and you don't need an item card like you do with Mega Turbo.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's good. And then you eat like Aegislash walls against Toad, against other Rayquazas, stuff like the Dragon one too.
Yeah.
And then like later on, the Cobalion EX became a thing because it didn't really have a good way to deal with Safeguard. And so honestly, like that just kind of drove me into that idea, and I was testing at a buddy's house with Dion Lunsford, who some of my viewers may know as the Baller, and he was playing a Toad Shaman deck that he and Brian Lee had come up with, and um, I played like my Blastoise against it, and I narrowly lost. I played a couple other decks against it, and I just got just floored. So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna try to build this Rayquaza thing, and I literally just I knew the generic idea, and I just threw it together on the table and shuffled it up, and he scooped up Toad and switched to Dragon Ray to see if the deck was for real. And then when I won a match in game 3 against Dragon Ray, then I was like, he said the deck's real, and I handed it to him because I said, I'm not going to any tournaments this weekend. Take it to regional, dude.
Yeah.
And if you don't use it, you got 4 Shamans now. Like, just bring it back to me that when you get back. So he didn't end up actually playing the deck, of course, but you did. So I photographed the list so I wouldn't forget it. But the fact that because I remember, like, what was it? I told you I built this list in 20 minutes, and you just were like, "Oh God, don't tell me that."
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like this is more your thing though. Go ahead and tell me about some of your matchups. Just how the deck worked in general, what you might have changed, maybe what not.
Okay. So round 1, I played against a Groudon player, but it was a Hawlucha Groudon deck. It wasn't like the new Wobbuffet version, and he didn't play Focus Sash. It was pretty easy because he doesn't have Focus Sash. You can just easily one-shot the Groudons once you have 8 down. Round 2, I play against Nathan Brower, playing another Groudon deck, but this time he's playing Wobbuffet, Groudon, Regirock.
Oh, Regirock.
Yeah, so both games he starts the Wobbuffet and Regirock, so I can't use Shaman, can't use any of that stuff, and it slows me down a lot.
Get it out of there.
Yeah, and he also played Hard Charm and Focus Sash, so
Ooh.
you can never one-shot him. You have to always two-shot him and stuff like that, so it was really bad. Both games were kind of close, but he just you can't one-shot him, so he can easily take 2 knockouts.
Now, I assume the first one was playing the regular Groudon EX with the Primal and the Link, and then the second one was probably playing Maxi instead of Groudon EX.
No, he still played Groudon EX. He played it without links though. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, because he can just sit there and ability lock and stuff like that until. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, it seems like there was I think like game 1, I definitely like Lysandre up his Groudon before he Primal evolved, but he had like the switch to get out of the active and the Primal evolved. So.
Now, was he running Scramble Switch? Maybe then
I don't remember.
You could start loading energy turn 1 onto a Regirock then to keep it safe from like Hammers and Lysandre, and then you could scramble it to Groudon.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems a little gimmicky, but it's just one of those things.
I know in game 1 he used it to get 2 stadiums out of the discard pile. Because he didn't have a way to kill my Aegislash in the active spot. I think that's what it was. And he used Regirock to get 2 Silent Labs back.
Oh.
Yeah. But
anyway,
the whole reason why he had a reason why he did that is because he already had the Lysandre hand to win next turn to kill a Shaman off the bench. So he got the Silent Labs to force me to attack with Rayquaza because I think he only had 1 strong energy on Groudon, which doesn't knock out a Mega Rayquaza.
No, it just cancels with resistance.
Yeah, so that's why he didn't get a fighting stadium. And I was like, that's weird. He didn't get the fighting stadium, and that was the reason why. It's because he didn't want me in him.
Yeah, and just stick the Aegislash there where you just can't touch it.
Yeah. All right, and then round 3. We're playing against an Evital deck. Game 1 is pretty easy. I mean, Evital can't really one-shot Mega Rayquaza because he only needs 3 energies to attack.
Yeah.
Game 2, I accidentally decked myself out. I wasn't paying attention. It was I noticed all my Verse Seekers were gone, and my trump card was gone. So I just sycamore to deck myself out to hurry to finish the game. I was just goofing around, and then game three, I just didn't goof around and actually won.
Okay.
Here, I got notes. I can't remember round four right now. Man, here, I'll pull up my photos. Because if you don't know, I take pictures of all my opponents.
Oh, okay.
Okay, one, two, three. Okay, all right. So round four, we're playing against. It's a Raichu, Glaceon, Leafeon, Baynet that turns off tools, the Oxus deck.
The new Deoxys, the one that.
No, no, the one that like boost Plasma Pokemon.
Okay.
Because everything, all his Plasma Pokemon have free retreat because the Glaceon.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the hardest matchup of the day. He has the Raichus to kill Rayquazas. He has the Leafeons to respond to the Aegislashes. So I
And he's
don't
got
know.
like Skyfield in there.
What'd you say?
Yeah, like Skyfield.
Uh, yeah, he did have Skyfield in there. Yeah, so once whoever got Skyfield at first, it kind of just stuck there forever because
Yeah.
neither of us played different
You
stadium.
just battle compressor them all out.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember if I did or didn't. But game one is fairly close. He's going to win. I think he has two prize cards left, and I actually used the Verse Seeker for N. I think like back to back 3 times. He could never like kill the Aegislash or Lysandre around the Aegislash because I eventually kill his Leafeon with Grass Energies, stuff like that. So he can't really start. He can't attack me, and he has to Lysandre around the Aegislash. Uh, Game two, I don't think it goes to time because game one was like 40 minutes long.
Oh dang. So yeah, so it just ends on you won game one, and then yeah. Okay, gotcha.
And then
So
next
one.
up, what are you gonna say?
I said so 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. So next
Yeah.
up, we're playing against Matthew Mako. He is one of the guys from Mississippi that I've played against a couple times. He's playing Sidestorm Garbodor. Uh, Game one, he gets the Garbodor out, but he doesn't attach a tool to it. So when he does attach a tool, I definitely just waste a turn Lysandre it up, killing it, so that way he can never have the Garbodor in line. Once that
Yeah.
happens, you have the Keldeo and Floatstone, and even without the Floatstone, you can double Metal Links to a
Oh,
Keldeo, rush in, attach a Metal Energy, and just come back from Righteous Edge, the DC off. And once you do that, he plays Roller Skates, and that's his only like draw card besides like supporters. So I know for sure he flipped like all tails and roller skates in both games. And then game two he just draw past this and like I said he flipped tails on roller skates a lot. So now we're what 4-1. Um, Next up we're playing another Size Toad deck, but this time it's Size Toad, Shaman, Una.
Oh.
So I don't know. In my head, it seemed like it was going to be easy win, but just I don't know. It was kind of a little bit harder because he has the shamans to draw through his deck a lot faster and stuff like that. And all the crushed hammers. And even though you do play Bronze Song, it takes a little while to set up because of Quake a Punch. But
Yeah.
game one, I just discard most of his DCs with Cabalion. By the time he knocks out the Cabalion, I think we have 2 Mega Rayquazas ready to go, and they just sweep the game.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, I think he actually scooped game one, and then game two it's the same thing. It's just like Cabalion was just too strong and stuff like that. Luckily, we didn't prize it, if I remember correctly. So, another victory there. So now we're what 5-1. Next up, we play against Dragon Rayquaza, and like you said earlier, all you have to do is you just put an Aegislash in the active spot, and you just sit there. It basically comes down to who gets the first Lysandre with the loaded full Mega Rayquaza. And
Yeah.
luckily, I do that both games. Game one, I knock out his only Dragon Rayquaza. He scoops. He's like, "There's no way I can win now. You're just gonna be, Verse Seeker every time to kill me." Game two, same thing happens. I get the first knockout on his Rayquaza. He ends up playing it, but it doesn't really matter because we can. Even for some reason he does knock us out, we can power up a Mega Rayquaza quicker than he can with his.
Yeah.
Now we're 6-1, and before this round, I talked to my friend Dylan and Brian. He's telling me about this crazy Groudon Dragonite deck. He's 7-0. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna scoop. I'm not gonna ID with anybody. I just want to go 9-0, get 27 points, have an easy day two, just win one game and make it to day two. Like,
Yeah,
all right.
I've seen that deck online. Someone played that against me.
Yeah. Uh,
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
so we're goofing around. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna ID." I'm like, "Well, I hope I don't play you because I don't know how I could beat that deck." Uh, luck would have it, we're sitting at table one. We're excited, and we're playing against Dylan Bryan, playing his Dragon Knight Groudon deck. Now, the whole concept is he just puts a focus shaft on the Groudon. You can't ever you have to two shot it, and even if you do, he plays multiple focus ashes. And I'm pretty sure he plays like a 4-4, like a 4-4-3 or 4-3-3, like Dragonite line. It's really really heavy, and he does play Wobbuffet. Um, Game one, he gets the Wobbuffet start, which slows us down, of course. He easily wins that one. The funny thing is, like, everybody's watching us because both our decks are like kind of roguish. So like
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, I want to see this matchup." I'm like, I don't know why I want to see it. It's going to be like a disaster for me. I can't really do anything. So game one, he easily wins because he has a Wobbuffet start. Game two, he doesn't start Wobbuffet, and we're going Shaman, we're going places, and then we just stop. Like we don't
Stonewall.
we don't have any acrobikes, we don't have no trainer mail, we don't have no shamans. So we're just we don't even have Skyfield. So we can't even fit like multiple Bronzongs to even like pick up shamans or anything like that. I'm just draw, pass, draw, pass.
Yeah.
And yep. Eventually he ends me.
Far happens.
Yeah. Eventually he ends me, and by then he already had a Groudon ready to go. He was just trying to get more cards. He's like, "I guess I'll end you now." And I was like, "Thanks." So we ended up losing to that one. So what? We're 6-2 now. So round 9. Sit down. My opponent goes, "You want an ID?" And I was like, "Please, yes, let me ID so I at least have a shot to make a top 32." And good thing he was playing Raichu, Crobat, some other stuff, and I was like, "Man, I do not want to think against this match again because that earlier round
No.
against Raichu was so hard. I really thought I was going to lose that match." Yeah, that was day
Yeah.
one.
Yep. I mean, if the viewers want to hear, if you want the viewers to hear about day two, that's up to you. I'd like to point out I did not choose your deck for day two.
Okay, so for day two, I'm trying to decide what to play, and in between waiting for the pairings, not pairings, but like the roster to go up after round 9. I'm talking to our friend Russell, and he's like, "Squeaky, I know you love Flygon. Like I know you play that deck at Indiana day 2," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's really good now," and I was like, "Are you lying to me?" And he like tells me this stuff about like how it's better with Shaman and Wobbuffet to get on Archeops, stuff like this, and he eventually sends me his list, and I test it. I'm like, "Wow, this is really good." So I'm testing against Trevenant Shaman because I thought that was gonna be the most played deck in day 2, and we ended up beating it like 5 or 6 times. So I was like, all right, this deck is obviously really good. Like I can beat Trevenant Shaman. We could probably beat other stuff. And little did we know, we did not beat stuff. Yeah. So the games aren't that exciting. So round one playing against Ryan Sablehouse playing Empoleon Magnezone. But he played 3 Pokemon Center Ladies, I think. Definitely one turn, he definitely doubled Pokemon Center Lady to deal 120 damage off to his Pokemon. He also played Life Dew. Uh,
Oh wow.
yeah, game one was like 30, 40 minutes, maybe even longer. Game two goes to time, so lose that one. Game two, we're playing against Grafton Roll, Flareon, and he plays Virizion too, which is really weird. And we don't play any Lysandres in our deck, so we can't bring up the Virizion. It kind of just sits there.
No,
Uh,
you kind of on Dustnor for that.
yeah, but the thing is, we can never. Every time we would like deck and cover, he has chances to play Lysander, so he's always picking off my Duskulls. He's always picking off my stuff because he wears like 4 Verse Seeker and like multiple I think I only ran 1 Lysander, but still, just that one by itself and just picking
Yeah.
off my Duskulls, I can never like figure out how to like get the knockouts. I end up winning game one. He does a vengeance and he says 120, and I was like, I definitely thought you were doing 200. Like I didn't even check his discard pile. He could have told me it was like 150, and I would have believed him because I was like, man, you ran through your deck really hot. But he just eventually just scoops with 6 prizes left, and I guess he had 6 Pokemon in there. I'm not really sure.
Wow.
And then game two, he I think he just rolls me pretty bad. And then game three, I know there was a crucial moment. I end up like 1 or 2, and he gets like the Shaman play to get the Lysander to get the knockout, and I win the game. So That was that game. Round 3, we're playing against Night March. Night March is another non-EX deck. I mean, he does play Mew, but he's really smart, and he doesn't attack with them. He just kept attacking with Pumpkaboos and Joltix. So every time
Yeah.
I would knock one out, he would just promote another one, kill me, knock another one out, kill me, that kind of stuff. I'm like, great, this is going great right now. So we just can't keep up with getting the Flygons out and keeping Shelmets, because every time I knock him out, he would just Lysandre up with the Shelmet or the Dust Storm, whatever. Just kind of win that way. Uh, so now we're 0-3, and I'm like, great, alright. No, we make a cut here. That's pretty good. Next, they were playing Mega Rayquaza, and I thought it was going to be a good match, but it wasn't. I just kind of get rolled game 1 and game 2. I can't really remember much, or at this time, not really paying attention to Pokemon anymore. I'm kind of just ready to hit the 8 hours back to Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't drop either, because if you drop, you don't get any prize sport, so.
Oh, which just, yeah, it just blows.
Yeah, and then round 5, we're playing against Jose. We're both 0-4, so our battle of the losers going on right here. He's playing his Mega Rayquaza deck also, game 1. I think it's kind of close, but he eventually pulls it out. Game 2, I get a Flygon out, he ends me, and I don't draw anything else. Literally, like, I had a Flygon active, and he had, like, a Mega Rayquaza and, like, 8 Pokemon on the bench, and he was just like, pass. And I draw a card, pass. And he draw a card, pass. So he was kind of having some fun there. It was really fun. But yeah.
I would have at least swung at it just for fun. I'd just been like, attack for 0.
Who, me?
Well, this is just like Aegislash, you know. It was just like put Aegislash up front. Like, I'll still swing at it sometimes just for fun.
Oh, no, he was playing Rayquaza.
Yeah.
I don't play Aegislash.
Oh, okay, yeah, but since you were okay,
I was playing Flygon.
I'm sorry.
No, he just didn't want to attack the Flygon. He was just goofing around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At that point, it's like you guys are pretty much guaranteed, you know, like top 32, but nothing more. So it's just whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. We went 0-5 that day, so that's pretty great. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the standings got posted on Verbank, I was looking for your name right away, and then I was like, don't tell me he's in 32nd.
Me and Expanded are not great friends. I have not done great at an Expanded tournament yet.
I mean, yeah, I guess, like, I'm not really that good with Expanded myself. Like, I ran really hot the one time I got to play it, but that was just my States deck from, like, 6 to 7 months before that, just being reinvented.
Yeah.
I feel like that wasn't really me, like, saying, oh, I'm going to build Expanded. That was just, I'm just going to play my deck from States.
True.
So, I mean, overall, I mean, making top 32, I feel like no matter really, I mean, even if you don't do well on day 2, I feel like just making day 2 is an accomplishment in and of itself.
True.
Especially when you talk like a regional like that. I mean, you're talking over 200 people, I believe.
Yeah, we had like 247.
Yeah, making it into like top 32. You're talking about like the top 15% maybe. I don't know. I don't have a calculator on hand that I feel like digging out at the moment, but it's something like that. I mean, I feel like that's pretty good. Of course, I owe you congratulations.
Oh, and thank you for the list too. So.
Oh, no, not a problem. Thanks for playing it. I was like, you said you were debating decks. I was like, come on. Take this. It's like, I'm not saving this for nationals. Like, someone will find it out before then. And like, no, I want someone to play this now. And of course, now Trump card's banned. So it's like,
yeah. Funny story. When I was playing the deck, people were like, "Oh, you're playing Georgia's Secret deck," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, you're playing Georgia's Secret deck. So Connor Fenton, I think he writes for They Roll the Dice. He was playing the deck also.
Okay.
But his list was different. He played like Executes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He didn't play the Cabalion, but he played 2 Aegislash. So it was the same kind of idea. But people were like, "So you were talking to Connor?" I was like, nope.
No, I mean, maybe that was who I played against online. I have no idea. I didn't know who it was. It was a random match that I got.
Yeah.
And I forget what deck I was even playing at the time, and that was my matchup, was Metal Mega Rayquaza, and I was like, okay. And then when I read Me's article, I was like, huh, that's not a bad idea. Like you forfeit the turn one with like the Mega Turbo, but you get it sustains better in the long run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like it's probably better that way.
I definitely think it's probably the best way to play Rayquaza.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, the fact that I was able to beat Manectric decks with it online too, although I think that was just chalked up to opponents not drawing well and me hitting my Lysandres at the right times.
Yeah, we were theory modding about Mega Manectric, and if you can go first, you're probably going to win unless they play Mega Turbo. And
Yeah,
but if they don't play Mega Turbo, you can just keep one-shotting their Manectrics over and over again before they actually like get two energies on them to actually do stuff to you. Oh.
yeah. Um, was there anything else you wanted to say about the tournament? Any shout outs? Anything, just in general?
Okay, so I mean the tournament was pretty ran pretty smooth. We only had a couple hiccups, but I mean they weren't like very long, not no 30-minute waits. Shout out to everybody in Tennessee who came. We had my friend Justin Aaron, my friend Dustin Parker. Fun fact: they also played the deck, but um, Justin lost his last round. If he won, he would have made it in. And my
Oh,
friend Dustin played against a bunch of Manectric decks.
ah.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to keep like the deck a secret when you have to play test it against buddies, and they saw how good the
Yeah.
deck was.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mind more people play it. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
listen,
yeah.
like I wouldn't have told anybody. Like Dion Lunsford literally would have been the only other person who knew about it if I was going to play it. I mean, because I would have play tested against him.
Yeah, exactly.
But but since I wasn't going, I was like, well, you know what? My kid was born, like not just over 2 weeks ago, so I'm obviously not going to regionals. I already got my invite for Worlds, so
That's true.
I'm just trying to play it out, and I'm just like, here, I got this deck, and Dion says to me, it's no, Steve, it's your job not just to help us test, it's your job to break the format. I'm like, I don't know about that, but I got this idea, so here, go.
Yeah.
Uh,
Guess shout out to you too for sharing the list and everything. Like you said, yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Now I know it's kind of like lumping two things into one video, but if you want to real quick, I think I told the viewers earlier on that we'd hit this mark a little bit at the end. Lysandre's trump card joining the ranks of Sneasel and Slowking from Neo Genesis.
Uh, yeah, I mean it's crazy that a card's been banned. Like I don't know. I didn't think it was ever going to happen again.
No, I mean, Tropical Beach happened in Japan, but that happened because people couldn't access the card. Like it was too scarce. I mean, it was scarce everywhere, but in Japan it was absurd. It was a lot worse than it was here
True.
or over in Europe or something. I mean, over in Europe, I believe it was actually cheaper, but I don't know. I imagine like in France, the French ones were probably the most expensive, and same for Germany and the German ones and so on.
Well,
Like I don't know.
in France you can actually play the English ones too. So
That was lucky people.
yeah, I think like in Canada you can play like the French one and the English
French
one.
one, English one, yeah.
Yeah, the only two like countries you can't play other ones is just Japan and America. You can only play like the Japanese ones, and here you only play the course the English.
Well, and it's just like in Japan, the card backs are different, so
Exactly.
they're all gonna be like really anal about that, even if you have like fully opaque sleeves. But no, just the whole thing with trump card getting banned. I mean, I guess the big reason I didn't think it was gonna carry overseas was because the deck that it got banned for in Japan primarily was a Latios Donk deck using like recycles and plus powers and all this stuff.
Hmm.
And if they were gonna ban it here, like the only way that deck can exist in this, like stateside is in expanded format.
True.
And even so, like no one ran it. I mean, someone could have looked into the Japanese metagame or like if they had like contacts in Japan and could have tried to play that, at either Georgia or Madison.
Hmm.
But if they did, I mean, it didn't cut, and that may very well have something to do with certain toad that I like to reference Dolores Umbridge with. Harry Potter fans will get that one. You must not tell lies. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's crazy to see a card get banned like that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it, but then I kind of don't. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely going to change deck building because now, ripping through your deck in one turn is, and then you can't redo it. It gets rid of like re-spamming like lasers and hammers and all that shenanigans, which really is the whole problem that we had. But now I think, like the question is, you look at decks like Night March, like in standard format that looked like they were dead, like Flareon and Night March, and it's like, well, what now? I
Yeah.
mean, these decks now all of a sudden can be played again. It looks like, and is it can it or can't it? And if it can, there's no trump card now. What are you going to do to counter something like that?
Yeah. The only problem with I think we're gonna see a Night March though is with these big primal Pokemon that need they have like 200 plus HP.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be hard to one shot them and then hope they don't kill your 1 to 2 last Pokemon. Oh.
that's a good point. I mean, I guess the way I would play against like a primal Pokemon or a big Mega with Night March is I would probably try to set up to two shot and of course just not put the Mews down
Hmm.
because then for every knockout you take is two prizes, whereas they're only going to take one prize for each Night Marcher. So if you can get a hit down before they manage that, maybe you can like Lysandre a Keldeo or something for if I mean it's probably Groudon though, so Groudon doesn't exactly run stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I guess that's just how I would do it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's gonna be good. We'll just have to wait and see. It's hard. It's hard to always say what's gonna be good. So there could be some crazy other deck that lost to Toad all the time that can now do great because Toad can't spam lasers and stuff over and over again now.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, lasers and hammers. It's like what's worse? I mean, lasers were going to rotate at the end of this format anyway, but just getting rid of the whole cycling of crushing hammer, I feel like is huge.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
super scoop, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how many times in a row did Jason flip heads on that stream on Super Scoop Up? And it was like, I'm watching it. It's like he needs heads in order to not lose the game. And I looked at my wife and I was like, he's gonna flip heads every time. And I was like, hello, we got Dustin Zimmerman over here flipping his Metagross coin.
I don't know.
uh, no, but it'll be interesting. I'm really glad that that the ban is going into effect before nationals, though. I think it's really good that like I don't know how I feel about going into worlds with a format that is undefined, which you could say well, the sets have been legal, but you just removed a huge card from the format, even if it is only a one of in most decks.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I think besides U.S. Nationals, the only other one is Canada Nationals, which is a week before us, or maybe 2 weeks before us. So it's gonna
mhm.
be really interesting to see what's gonna be played up there.
Yeah. Well, because it's taking effect here on June 15th, so it's actually taking effect 5 days earlier in stateside than it is in Japan. Because their ban takes place on June 20th, which is the release date for Bandit Ring.
Okay.
Of course, I already know I'll be toying around with Japanese Bandit Ring cards at nationals. um, I'll just be like, all right, I got these. So it's like, just give me a full art Lugia. That's all I want. Those Japanese full arts are 10 times nicer than the English ones.
True.
Um, but I guess I don't want to bore. I don't want to make the viewers too bored if they've managed to stick around for this long. So we should probably close out here. Anyway, I want to say congratulations to you for making day two with just at the regional in general. I think it's really cool. I appreciate you playing my deck. And yeah, I think it's really awesome, and I appreciate you doing this whole video with me. I don't know if you want to call it an interview or what you want to call it. Whatever,
Yeah.
conversation. I
Conversation.
don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah. And yeah, just thank you once again for sharing the deck list. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. And you guys, viewers, want to see the deck list? I'll try to make sure that at the beginning of this video, it should be real quickly shown. I'll do a more in-depth analysis of it as well, and show Squeaky's changes to it, as well as what the original list was, and just kind of how I was able to test with it online to kind of tell Squeaky like, well, okay, this is what I've tested, this is what my results are now to compare with your results.
Hmm.
And I think, having multiple people testing the deck is helpful.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, yeah. Is there any last words you got, or?
Just can't wait to see everybody at Nationals. So.
Yeah, same here. I'll be recording videos. I got a special event planned for Nationals, a little side thing that I want to do. Probably do like a small entry fee and some payouts and stuff like that. It'll be a real weird kind of deal I got from Ian Teague.
Okay.
So I'll try to put an ad for that up here pretty soon as well.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Squeaky and I'll see you guys later.
All right, take care.
Cheers.